everyone, ghouls, gals, creeps, and mutants alike. Today is another band showcase episode, and one that we're really excited to come out with. What can also be kind of just seen as a melding of two worlds. Is our first actual hip hop artist that we have on the show. So normally, yeah, we do focus on like the hardcore scene, the punk scene, and even the metal scene, but we also kind of want to share some of the love with our brothers and sisters in the hip hop realm too. So in this one, we're maybe makes it a little biased just because he's also a horror hip hop artist. But either way, we are really excited to come out with this interview with Skitz Kraven. I had a blast talking to the dude, totally chill guy. I mean, you know how I am. I'm not going to spoil anything in the beginning, but please give Skitz a follow, check out his music today, and let's jump into the interview. Welcome back, everyone, to the Punk Rock Horror Podcast, and it's another band showcase episode in what is probably can be described as one of the most unique artists that we have had on the show, and also the most unique crossroads of genres coming together as one for the love of horror. Please welcome the legendary, the amazing Skitz Kraven to the Punk Rock Horror Podcast. Welcome, Skitz.
Yo, what up, my man? How you doing?
Good, 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 good. Thank you for coming on. I'm trying to avoid talking about the whole quarantine every single band showcase episode, but it's one of those things that's so hard to like not even just mention a little bit, just because we're currently living in it. So I'm going to try not focus on that. But thank you for making the time to come on here. I know it's definitely been chaotic for a lot of musicians, and I really appreciate you coming on.
All day. I appreciate you having me. Thanks.
For sure, for sure. So, few things jumping into this. So this, like we said at the intro, what is probably one of the most interesting artists to have we have come on here, because normally we have a lot of punk artists and we have a lot of hardcore artists. So this is probably you're actually our first hip hop artist that we've ever had come on the show, and so let's just jump right into it. Skitz, who are you and where did you start?
I am one fucked up individual. No, I started in I was born and raised in Madison, Wisconsin. I grew up in a small town called Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, most of my life. And then I moved out to Los Angeles to, start my music career shortly after high school. And yeah, that's basically it, man. Just a small town kid chasing big time dreams.
So big time dreams indeed. And if we went to your Spotify right now as we're listening to this episode, we'll see that you have amassed a great amount of followers doing it too. And what's just so interesting to me about what you're doing is just not how well you do it. Because I've listened to a lot of your music over these past few weeks and months of just before we did this interview, and it's just really interesting because hearing what you talk about, hear what you sing, is so familiar to the things that I've already fallen in love with when it comes to the horror rock community. And so, just kind of taking a step back, looking at you, looking at a horror hip hop artist, what was the decision to incorporate horror with hip hop and not what is traditionally known to be seen as like rockabilly or something to that extent? Why did you decide to go with hip hop?
So hip hop was always my favorite genre, even as a little kid. I love the poetry involved in it. I loved the kind of rebellious tone to it. I grew up not in a strict household, but a pretty strict household, and I was kind of rebellious even as a kid. So hip hop I just gravitated towards that. So hip hop was just always my thing. I always, even in school, I hated school, but the only thing I was good at was, English class. I was good at writing. So the poetry mixed with the tone and the vibe of just the overall genre really attracted me. As for horror, and when I started rapping, horror just it wasn't like a planned out thing. It just the music I was making was very dark. I was in a very dark place in my life at the time of starting, writing and stuff, and I was coming up with these, violent stories and just a darker tone. And I've always been a horror fan. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm a horror fanatic. I love, my Freddys, my Jasons and stuff. But yeah, I just it was an outlet for me to really making aggressive music helped me, get a lot of emotions out of my system without having to cause chaos on the world. I could just scream my lungs out and say some crazy shit and tell some stories that got a weight off my back.
I'm really happy to hear you say that in the sense that, again, coming back to listening to your music, that is what I kind of get the sensation from just hearing the passion you have with singing. What I think is really cool about this is because so you're talking about these really fucked up stories, these really heavy tones of narrative and what you're doing in your music, and normally any other person would just be like, oh, that's that's demented, or that's weird or whatever to that extent. But when you really think about it, these are also kind of like the same themes that fall within a lot of death metal bands and what they write about. And so coming back to the fact that you decided to use hip hop as this creative outlet, I think it's astounding. I think it's really great when we can turn to art. Do you think that turning to not just hip hop and being a hip hop artist, but doing it with the influence of horror has helped you improved with a lot of things you've been struggling with? Is that okay that I asked that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. Are you asking? So, like, what are you asking about horror being? Can you ask that again? Like, I want to make sure
Yeah,
I
no,
answer this right.
no problem, no worries. I also know we have some connections issues too, so
Yeah,
no,
it's cutting
so
out a little bit, but I can hear you now.
no worries. I was asking, I was basically asking, has being a horror hip hop artist and incorporating both of these themes helped you out with your with what you've been talking about with your creative outlet with these anger issues?
Oh, absolutely, man. Like I always say, I always tell my fans, whether I'm meeting them in person or on, Instagram Live or whatever, that the music saved my life. I mean, without this music outlet that I have, I don't know where I would be. I have a pretty good guess on where I'd be right now, and it's not a good place. So, with that being said, yeah, this music definitely saved my life. If it wasn't for, the horror genre itself and hip hop genre, I don't know where I'd be. I mean, so. Yeah, I mean, being able to, it's like right for me, writing is like talking to a therapist that you actually enjoy talking to every day. Like it's my pen and paper is like my therapy, and it's after I write a song. It could be a love song, it could be a dark, twisted song. It's always refreshing afterwards, especially when I'm filled with emotions that day or I'm going through a lot of shit. Writing just takes a lot of gives me a lot of relief, and yeah, in a sense, it's changed my entire life for the better.
You know, I think it's just great about you as a person. Like if you look you up, if we look you up on Google right now, a lot of your photos you're seen as a very kind of standout, eccentric horror character, and that's what someone would describe you as without getting to know you at first, and then actually talk you are, and just how relatable you are is really kind of surreal but relieving, especially with just how much you're talking about how influential horror and hip hop has been to you. And I want to come back to your music in a second, but I do also want to ask you this question about horror. So we've this show has always been made to make the case for horror and horror films that have been overlooked. But we always talked about with horror being an outlet and an underground artistic outlet that's not appreciated. Um, do you feel like recently, with how much praise a lot of horror movies have been giving, such as like Parasite and Get Out and Us, that horror is finally starting to being taken more serious? And if not, what do you think needs to happen for it to be taken more serious?
Yeah, man. So I'm definitely glad to see people starting to take horror more serious. However, that comes with a little a worry for me is I don't want horror to be mainstream because when it becomes mainstream, it becomes dull. So, for instance, like Get Out, I liked Get Out more than Us, and I give that whole crew props for going outside the box and trying something new. But to be honest, a lot of these horror movies I've seen in the last few years just have not done it for me. I feel like it's missing something. It's missing a lot of horror relies on jump scares now, and I think that's a cop out. I think that's it's like, oh, we're not scary enough, so we got to do some jump scares, throw some in there to, liven it up a little bit. And I don't, I'm not a big fan of that. I love the days where I would literally stay up all night worrying and thinking about the film that I just watched. Like for instance, the Blair Witch Project and The Exorcist, and just for some reason, even though I'm a young cat, I'm only 25. I still grew up watching 80s horror and a lot of that kind of stuff. So I mean, the last horror movie that I saw personally in the last few years that really had me thinking about it afterwards would have to be Hereditary. Um, that that movie for some reason got to me. I loved it. But yeah, I'm glad it's being a little more looked at as far as the genre. I just don't want it to get played out, and I don't want it to get soft, if that makes sense.
I think I understand and I hear where you're coming from. Um, about it of the horror franchise being too Hollywoodized. Because where it's always been its strongest, and what you're talking about also, as a nod to the '80s horror, is when it was always made with an independent mindset. Even if it was a Hollywood film back in the day, it still had its independence due to it being stuck within its own genre and it flourishing within that. And so now that it is being taken more serious, it's what you said. It's what you said. It risks the trouble becoming mainstream. And so we do see now just kind of two movies being made with the occasional third time. But we're getting either these very artistic, eccentric, centered, focused stylized type of movies, such as like Us and Get Out. So we're going to be leaving with that, leaving that movie with some sort of message, with some sort of shock. And I would even say that's within line with Hereditary too. But when it comes to what you're talking about with the jump scares as well, we've also mentioned this about that jump scares can ruin a movie. And I mean, Paranormal Activity was a good lesson in that. The entire genre was. I guess if you were going to make any horror movie in today's modern age, what would you make? That might be a loaded question, but I'm curious to see what you could come up with.
Yeah, man. So I have a lot of ideas actually. My goal is to eventually, start turning to film, um, while still doing music, obviously. But film has always been an interest of mine. Not necessarily acting. I mean, I'd be down to do some acting, but I want to be more writing and producing. So your question you're asking, I mean, I have a lot of answers for that. A lot I don't want to say too soon, but
Fair enough.
I can tell you like just the gist of it. So basically, when I would make a horror film, I like what Jordan Peele's doing as far as the psychological stuff. I like, Midsummer even. A lot of people didn't like that, and I was a little disappointed in Midsummer, but I did like that. It's a fucking weird fucking movie, and it makes your brain just go, and it makes you feel a little uneasy. I love that. I love that about those films. So I would take psychological mixed with fright, meaning physically seeing. So a lot of the psychological you don't see, like Blair Witch Project. That's why that movie was such a success, because you never actually saw the villain. You never actually saw the witch, and that fucks with you mentally. So I like that about psychological, but I like also physical. I like actually seeing frightful things, like maybe seeing something happen to something disturbing, like a child. People are scared to put kids in the movies, and I know that's a big no-no. But I would just cross a lot of lines, and that might piss Hollywood off. But I guarantee you, a lot of people would fuck with it and like it, because I have a very disturbed mind, and I have a lot of stories and fairy tales and stuff that I would love to put on screen someday. But to answer your question more simply, I'd do a mix of a lot of different things. I would take a little bit from everything that I've seen in my life, a lot of psychological mixed with a lot of physical, and obviously I'd have to have gore in there, even though I'm not a huge fan of gore. I think it's another kind of cop out to add. Oh, let's add some gore. Let's add some jump scares, and boom, we got a horror movie. I think it's got to be like just the whole tone has to be horror and frightening. But I like everybody likes a little gore, so I would throw a little of that in there too. But yeah, I hopefully we can make something happen in the future.
I love it. I mean, I will say, being a fan of gore, I'm well aware of what gore does to a film, and I still enjoy it. Okay, it doesn't have to be scary for me to enjoy it. I enjoy the blood effects. Okay, let me have this, Skits. You don't need to take this from me. Okay.
Hey man, I got a lot. I like gore
Whoa.
too, but
Well,
I got a lot
now,
of
now,
friends
I
that
agreed
love
with you with the
it.
scare jumps. Okay, you don't have to take the gore now.
But like even like okay, for instance, like Halloween, like the
Talking
first
about
one. You know,
horror.
I'm sorry. I think we're a little delayed, but I was just saying about Halloween. Like even Halloween, like there wasn't that much gore and blood. You know what I mean? Like the original, and it was still one of the best horror movies of all
Thing
time. You
with
know?
Absolutely, yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry about that latency issue. No, I agree with you. There, it was all about the psychological, especially with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That one terrified so many people due to the ferocity of the nature of the film and how the Leatherface worked and all the characters worked. But if you even go back and you don't really see Leatherface too much in the film until way later is a huge absence of blood and gore that we all think we see. And I think a lot of it is mainly due to that dinner scene. But other than that, like a lot of those, like you're saying, a lot of those early slasher flicks did not have blood and gore. I actually don't think it wasn't until Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street that it fully actually changed.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so So coming back to it, I want to ask a little bit more about your music. So you've been coming out with a lot of great music these past 3 months, right? You've been coming out with this new music Mondays Chapter 3, and so these are actually a few songs that I listened to as well. I really enjoyed Rest in Pieces, which came out in February and 23rd, and most recent single was Pretty Women on March. So can you kind of shine a light a little bit more on this with what you're doing with your music?
Yeah, so New Music Mondays was a tradition I started a couple years ago, and basically a lot of the time New Music Mondays always followed a few months after an album release. Basically, what it was I had so many, I'm in the studio all the time. I'm always recording new music, and half of it doesn't ever get released, and a lot of songs don't make the album for the final cut. So you have all these extra songs, and I'm like, I feel like these songs are still great, and I feel like they can hold their own with as their own single. So what I did was like I'm gonna drop a new song every Monday for 3 months straight, and just bless the fans with a plethora of new music on a weekly basis, and just that's kind of how I'm gonna get rid of them. Almost like putting an item on the for sale rack. You know what I mean? When you're trying to get rid of the shit. So I did that, and the first season I did, my fans like absolutely loved it, and I gained a lot of new fans doing it, and I kind of got this reputation that I care about the fans, which I do, and I want to constantly give them new music. So yeah, we did it for a second season last year, and then this year we did a third season after I dropped my album Hollow. I had a lot of extra songs, and yeah, just thought I'd bless the fans again, and yeah.
Well, that's awesome, and I'm glad you're doing that again now too. Um, with it being definitely, again, only slightly touching on the reason why everybody's inside the whole quarantine. Now more than ever, unless you're able to be an essential worker, art is something that we have to really turn to kind of keep us all sane in different factors of our life. And I think it's great that artists are just finding ways to release music to their fans and to the people that love what they're doing. And so I think that's great that you're doing it too. I mean, it's probably humbling to be able to just throw something out like this and know that it's making a difference, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it feels good, man. It feels good just whenever I release a song and then I get emails and messages saying that song, changed their life, or, thank you so much for dropping a song this week. This was one of the worst weeks of my life, and then then I was able to look forward to your release. Shit like that. I really appreciate, and it is humbling. It is humbling considering that I used to have to beg people to listen to my music back in the day, and now people are begging me to release music. and it's really a mind fuck, but it's a pretty cool mind fuck, and yeah, I'm very blessed and thankful that I have a fan base to that wants me to make music. And because I always said, even if I never make another penny the rest of my, let's say I never make one more penny off my music the rest of my life, I will always make music because I enjoy making music and I enjoy listening to the music I make. So it's just a bonus when I have a large following and fan base that enjoys my music as much as I do. It's really pretty cool.
So, with that in mind, I want to ask you this, and we haven't asked this question recently. So, I mean, being a horror hip hop artist and that just combination alone definitely puts you in a very unique and vulnerable light, and yet it has turned around for you amazingly. I mean, just like you said, you have people who are wanting your music now. They can't wait for the next Skitz release, and this is just fantastic. And again, congratulations to you for all the hard work you put in for it. You definitely have earned it. Um, but what I want to ask you is also, what is some advice that you would want to give yourself back in the day when you first started up, where you are now? What is something that you would tell yourself then to help yourself out?
Um, well, there's probably two things I would tell myself. One would be don't expect this just to be about music. Music is like literally 30% of the industry. The rest is all business and strategy. And so, I mean, I literally thought I would make music and I could just upload it on the internet and it would do its thing. But there's so much behind the scenes that just is, 70% of your work, and it's has nothing to do with music. It's all business and networking. And so I would let myself know that a little early because it was a little wake up call when I got into the industry. I was like, oh shit, this is nothing what I expected it to be. So that would be one thing, and the other thing would just be like stay patient. Just continue being patient. Even when you feel like giving up, just don't do it. Like because there's times like even now, like I get my mental health just because music helps me cope with my mental health. My mental health is still very present. I still am dealing with the same psychological issues that I was dealing with before the music. So I still get in moods and depression states and stuff that I'm like, fuck, man, like, is this like, am I doing anything wrong? Like, why? Sometimes I'll be like, why am I not as big as Post Malone or Michael Jackson? You know what I mean? Like, I set my standards very high. So when you do that, which is a blessing and a curse, you can also get very down on yourself when certain things don't happen as quickly as you'd like them to. And I think that goes with anything in life. Like people at jobs, like, oh, why didn't I get this promotion? Why did he get the promotion instead of me? It's like, dude, your time will come. Keep working your ass off. Keep constantly grinding and your time will come. Just do not give up. And I'm thankful that I never gave up. But I still would like to reassure my young self there's going to be trying times in this shit, and you just got to overcome them and just keep pushing, man.
I love it. I love what you're saying there. And that's that again just why I'm so glad that we made this happen today. That we had you come on the show, as it's this perfect melding of two crossroads that just finally need to happen. And that's just that we've been saying the same message to everyone is that you got to put in that time and you got to really care about it more than everyone else telling you not to care about it. And Skits, you're proof that it can and it will happen as long as you will follow the wise advice you said by just staying patient and pushing through. So Skits, you're doing amazing stuff with your music. You're making and with this in mind, what do you got planned in the future? I mean, I know everything's kind of just shut down for the most part, and I know that unfortunately you did have a tour that recently got kind of canceled, and I'm really sorry about that. But well, what else do you got in the works in the meantime that you can share with all the listeners and your fans?
Yeah, man. So yeah, the tour was definitely a bummer, but I mean, every artist is dealing with that right now, and it is what it is. You just make do. So yeah, we had a spring tour planned. Obviously, that got pushed back till now. We're hoping late summer, but we're almost thinking maybe do a Halloween thing instead, which would obviously suit my brand better than late summer. But we just want to get on the road and meet the fans. I just want to meet these people, man. I got so many awesome fans I just want to meet and shake hands and give hugs to and shit. You know what I mean? And just vibe out with. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the bummer about that. But in the meantime, I have a lot of again a lot of records that are just collecting dust. That I'm like, you know what? Some songs from like 2018 from last year that are just sitting there that, you know, I just feel like I could definitely still be giving my fans something because even I'm making it a point to social distance very heavy. So I'm not going to the studio, even though I could still go to the studio and make music right now. I'm choosing not to because I feel like, you know, the risk isn't as great as the reward. Like if I, like, let's say you know, I get something and I spread it to my engineer and now he's out of commission for God knows how long, you know, it's just a domino effect. So I think the quickest way to get through this shit as a world and country is just the social distance, just to, you know, just to bite the bullet and just stay away for a little while because it might be, you know, a shorter time than if we don't. So yeah, man. So I'm just digging up some old songs and I'm just gonna start releasing them. They're old to me, new to the listeners, obviously, because I've never heard them, and yeah, we'll just kind of do maybe every week, maybe every other week, kind of play it out. Just keep the listeners happy, and while this quarantine is going on, you know, we don't know how long it's going to go for. So I don't want to give new music. I don't want to release all my music in 2 weeks. You know, I kind of want to make it last for as long as this shit is going on to give my listeners something to look forward to through the entire process of this social distancing pandemic.
Love it. So to end on an even more sweeter note on the whole horror ice cream with the cherry on top, what is, and this is the same question we ask every artist, what is a crazy story that you're willing to share on the show from a show that you have played and were a part of?
Um, yeah, so without incriminating myself, I I'm trying to think, man. I've been thinking actually about this lately. I'm like, I wonder what some crazy shit's happened. I mean, you talking crazy? Like, I haven't thrown up on stage yet. I was close to one time because I was pretty drunk. But I haven't pissed on stage or done any crazy shit like that. I did. I guess this is okay. This goes back way in my early days when I was starting out and I was opening for other people. You always get that one guy that doesn't know who you are, so and he, you know, he's in the front row, so he likes to just hold his middle finger up at you the entire time when you're performing, especially when you're just starting out. And so
Uh,
I had this dude do that, and I was like towards the last like 30 seconds of my final song, I took a bottle of water and I just dumped it on his face and I invited him to come on stage and do something about it, and he never did. So I guess that's the PG craziest thing I've done so far. I guess I don't know.
hey, no, however crazy of a story you want to share, man, it's totally fine. It also doesn't have to, again, as long as it doesn't incriminate you. But real quick, I'm glad that you kind of like mentioned that story because it's like that is also something that just still bugs me because that was something similar I see happen all the time, especially at underground shows. And just like to make the example, like a few years back when One Eye Doll was touring at the time, I was at one of their shows and there was this dude just flipping off, you know, Kimberly Freeman just the entire time. It just like eventually like security came and like drug the dude out. But like I never understood that mentality of going to a show for the one band that you want to see, but like showing major disrespect to all the other bands opening. So I'm glad that you actually called them out on it at least.
Yeah, and actually, man, it's funny because I don't encourage it, but like if it happens, that almost motivates me to go twice as hard on stage. It makes me want to just give the best performance even more because it's like, okay, I got somebody here that doesn't know who I am clearly, because who the fuck's gonna buy tickets to somebody they hate? So I'm
Right.
guessing, I mean, if he does, that's love. I'll take that too. That's still money in my pocket, bro. Thanks. But I'm guessing that this dude doesn't know who I am, so he's just waiting. Like even if I'm headlining and some guy's there flipping me off, that's I mean I haven't seen that yet, but I'm sure somebody will bring a buddy along, and the buddy will be like, "Yeah, I've never heard this guy, but I'll give it a shot." And then he ends up not liking it, so he does the middle finger thing. I invite that. Like, go ahead and do that shit. It's just gonna motivate me, and it's gonna make you look stupid when I have my fans beat you up. It's all good, man.
I love that mentality. I love it, man. Just bring it. It'll make me go harder, and you'll just look like that much bigger of a jackass. I enjoy that mentality. Skitz, you are a delightful human being. You are great to talk to. You have this whole plethora of knowledge, and even though I've been spending like a half hour just talking to you, actually a little bit longer than that, I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of the enigma of the amazing person that you are, Skitz. With that in mind, right now.
I appreciate the compliment, my man. I did cut off with your last question. It did cut out a little bit.
Oh, no worries. I was just asking, where can everybody go to support and follow you?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So you can all my handles, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter is at Skitz Kraven, SKITZ KRAVEN. You can find all my music on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, all the main platforms there. And you can buy my merch and find tour dates and all that good stuff on my website at www.skitzkraven.com.
That's amazing, Skits. Thank you again for coming on. Listeners, all those links will be in the episode notes below or description if you're listening on YouTube. With that in mind, ghouls, gals, creeps, and mutants alike, check out Skits. Go give him a follow. Go listen to his music. Go enjoy that he challenges people to flip him off because he's that cool of a person. Skits, thank you so much for coming on the show and hanging out with me. I do appreciate this, and I wish you all the best luck with all your endeavors. It's amazing what you're doing, and I'm excited to see where you go from here.
Hey, man, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you, showing love and all that stuff, man. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. We're going to have to bring you on again in the future. Definitely, for sure.
Let's get it.
Awesome. Thank you again, ghouls, gals, and we will talk to you next time. There you go. That was my interview with Skitz. Again, a terrific dude. Great talking to him as well, and just getting to know the guy throughout the entire time. Just a superb guy. With that being said, we're just going to jump straight into the music. Again, a huge shout out to Skitz. He was a great guest. I hope he is doing well, and I hope you're also doing well, listener. Again, give him a follow, check out his music, and if you have a band and you want to come on the show, please send an email with your band info and any promotional material you have to the punkrockcorpodcast@gmail.com, and we will be in contact with you shortly. Again, ghouls, gals, Christians, thank you again, and we're going to jump into the songs Pretty Woman, Truth, and Tokyo.
I see pretty women everywhere, but they don't like me, they just like to stare. Like, oh my gosh, he's weird, he's so creepy, where's his hair? Girl, I think that dude's the type to try and buy your underwear. Like, what the fuck, bitch? Who you think I am, some type of queer? I would never buy your panties, I'd just kill you for a pair. I never wear that shit around, I probably keep them in my house. I probably masturbate and come inside them while I'm in your blouse. Cause I'm a nasty motherfucker, try and fuck you while you're dead. Trying to keep you as a trophy, I can't show you to my friends. Yeah, they think I'm hella normal, thinking I'm still taking meds. Little do they know I'm plotting up a way to take their heads. I just hate them with a passion, constantly thinking of smashing with a hammer. Where's my glamour? Kodak moment, grab the camera. I'll record me killing Tamara while I'm eating out Amanda at the same time. I'ma hit you with the same line. Powder up my nose, yeah, I'm a crackhead heart. I've been wealthy all my life, collecting bags from the start. Bad kid, bad shit, I come alive in the dark. I'll eat your organs as a side, but keep your eyes a la carte. Yeah, I'ma find you, cause I'm a creeper. I'm about to introduce your body to the reaper. Mama keeps me home cause I got hella head problems. I try to fight the other kids, yeah, I got mad problems. I'll be dividing up your organs, I got math problems. Here, let me solve them, acid in the tub like bath problems. But I'm much happier today, that's why I made an upbeat song. I wanna give the kids a record they can always dance along to. Yeah, baby, you can shake your booty, get a little drowsy, let me grab your little boobies. My apologies, I think I put a roofie in your drink. You getting sleepy? It's okay, don't worry about it, sweetie. I like it when you get a little drowsy when you're loopy. I know you kinda feel a little lousy when you're goofy. I might use a razor blade or I might use a nail gun. I wouldn't use a condom on you, I don't wanna wear one, don't wanna spare one. My dick is fucking huge, you know, so I'm a nut all on your body like a fuse to blow. Ugh, I got voices, 25 to see Dolores. I never know who I'ma be, come and meet Dolores. She decaying in my basement for a week or two. Her flesh be turning yellow, I'ma change her name to Pikachu. Pika Pika, I'ma fuck you while I'm eating pizza. Finger fuck your ass when Mr. Kraven blows your fucking speaker. 33 bodies, call me Pippin again. I'm selling body parts from women like I'm pimping again. Don't tell me shit about being normal, I'll start flipping again. Don't tell me shit about being formal, I'll start sipping again. I need protection, seek attention from the hoes I don't need. I need the bitch to lift me up but she can't get off her knees. I push my luck, I'm feeling stuck, I cut my throat till I bleed. Don't give a fuck, don't wish me luck, I'm about to blow like a sneeze. That's you, shorty wanna fuck but she ain't fucking with you. I know it makes you mad as hell but there ain't shit you can do. I got an arsenal of weapons, tell your friends to come too. I'm killing all you fucking pussies, ha ha ha, fuck you. Fuck you. Fucking piece of shit. Where's my fucking meds?
The producer.
I got freeze on the track, boy.
She got an ass so fat, I call that bitch my Lil Kardashian. She sucking dick so good inside my car, I just might crash again. I'm smoking on that peyote, taste so good I won't be passing it. She ashing it, I let her count my cash, I'm so compassionate. I just live that fast life, hit 180 on the dash again. Fuck smoking on that wax ass shit like crack, I'm smoking hash again. She biting on my tongue, I just might come cause I'm a masochist. Got ass to kiss, yeah you know that shit real, she ain't no mannequin. Cocaine up my left nostril, I drink until I'm smashed again. See you out in public, take that chain, punk you like Ashton. I'm the greatest rapper on this earth, I'm spitting facts again. You ask again, I'll chop you with this axe, thank you for asking. Tell me I'm the one, shawty, you so in trouble. Come over my way, she all alone now. I need a whole girl, can you be my babe? Let's go the highway, I met her in Tokyo. 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 Bad little bitch on my dick, she posing, but now she's stroking it. She don't hang with broke dudes, she dated you, now she's over it. She ain't into sports, she likes luxury, she my rover chick. I smoke a grit, then get right back to dropping hits, I am the shit. Sick as fuck, someone grab a needle, my blunt gas, but the coke diesel. Fly as fuck like a damn seagull, junkies wanna bump like they got the measles. Stomp you out like a fucking beetle, making big moves like I'm Max Keeble. Shawty fine, it's very nice to meet you, my music dark but her dress see-through. Old soul, she doesn't wanna be new, she love her life, she doesn't wanna be you. On her own, she doesn't wanna need you, she rich as fuck, she could probably feed you. Independent, shout it, getting money like she caught it. We in love, whatever you call it, I pick up whenever she calling. Tell me I'm the one, shawty, you so in trouble. Come over my way, she all alone now. I need a whole girl, can you be my babe? Let's go the highway, I met her in Tokyo. 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 talk to me now. I got 80 on my wrist, now I'm the talk of the town. I'm the truth, I'm the truth. Facts. I just left without my roof. Got no roof. If you wanna know the truth, then come and look me in my eyes. I'm a legend in disguise, I'll be a legend when I die. Cause I'm the truth, I'm the truth. Facts. Look at me and see the proof. See the proof. I just glide on them. I do the two-step, then I'm gone. I get too high on them. I take 2 pulls and then I'm blown. That's how I'm cut. She wanna ask me what's inside my cup. I said your luck. So take a sip, baby, see what you got in store. I'll make a private school virgin quickly turn to a whore. I'll make a mute from Colorado start to scream, give me more. And that's for sure. Pop a molly while I'm sipping the core. Just give me head, but promise me you will not head for the door. I love you, baby, but you won't hear me say that often. The people saying I'm a don all the way from Boston. I never lost, I paid the cost, so proceed with caution. I heard her ass from Calabasas, but those tits from Austin. If you wanna know the truth, then come and talk to me now. I got 80 on my wrist, now I'm the talk of the town. I'm the truth, I'm the truth. Facts. I just left without my roof. Got no roof. If you wanna know the truth, then come and look me in my eyes. I'm a legend in disguise, I'll be a legend when I die. Cause I'm the truth, I'm the truth. Facts. Look at me and see the proof. See the proof. Blue face, 100 stacking taller than toddlers. Half these bitches call me daddy, knowing I'm not their father. I'm too selfish for a child, plus I party too wild. I pop a bean to start my day, then snort a line to run miles. I'm like Forrest Gump walking cause my pocket's obese. I took a break from killing rappers just to hop on the beat. Don't tell me shit, come suck this dick before you suck on my feet. I'm a dirty motherfucker, someone give me some bleach. I tell the truth even when I lie, don't act too surprised. These rappers faker than a mannequin, take off your disguise. Look in my eyes and you can see that I'm a one of a kind. Fantastic, I bet you'll look but bet you won't find. If you wanna know the truth, then come and talk to me now. I got 80 on my wrist, now I'm the talk of the town. I'm the truth, I'm the truth. Facts. I just left without my roof. Got no roof. If you wanna know the truth, then come and look me in my eyes. I'm a legend in disguise, I'll be a legend when I die. Cause I'm the truth, I'm the truth. Facts. Look at me and see the proof. See the